is the University of Michigan.
Touchdown, Michigan!
And midcourt extra pass.
And it goes for the win! The three-pointer by Jordan Poole!
Down the sideline! Peoples-Jones! Touchdown, Wolverine!
All right, welcome back to Blue by 90. I am Justin, joined by Jack and Kaylin. As always, we are recording, it's Friday, December 18th, before Christmas here, a couple days after signing day. So how you guys doing?
Good, man. That was a pretty good signing day offensively.
Yeah, doing well.
I feel like all things considered, Michigan ended up about as good as possible, right?
Yeah.
Obviously there still is some uncertainty about the coaching around the coaching staff, and so for them to still pull that together and make sure, definitely on the offensive side of the ball, but only losing a couple guys on the defense as well, I think it was a good day for Michigan. I also think, now we're seeing, especially for Michigan State, a ton of guys enter the transfer portal too. Michigan hasn't seen that yet. I imagine, obviously Zach Carpenter did, the center, but we haven't seen like 5-6 guys going to the transfer portal, which I was worried about. Maybe they still will, but so far this week we're good. So let's kind of just go over who they did get. There were the guys that had been committed for a long time. JJ McCarthy, we've talked about it. You just can't say enough good things about JJ McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
And to top it off, he had a sweet video to put out for his signing too.
Thank God, man. I'm glad he didn't rely on the whatever Michigan football is putting out.
Exactly.
Rough. Yeah, that was, man. They need to do something on their media department, man, because is looking sorry.
I miss those. Remember Ty Rogers when he was like the video, like recruiting, like putting all that shit out? Those were so fucking sweet. I ended up tweeting at him and he retweeted me and was like, yeah, he's like, those were dope, but man, they took forever.
Yeah, I bet they took forever, dude.
He's like, I do not miss all the time that it took to make any of those.
Yeah. Well, think about how long it took him to shoot right at every practice, and he's got to get the content, and then you have to put it to a song, put it all together, edit it all so it looks sweet. Yeah, I bet it's a little more than making a TikTok, I imagine. So
yeah.
But yeah, so JJ obviously leading the charge there, and again, he's the man, 5 stars, QB, and I just think that, I don't know. We'll get into what
I was gonna say, go ahead. Do you know who the last 5-star QB Michigan got was? No.
Chad
I think
Henne.
he dropped to a 4.
Oh no, Ryan Mallett.
Yeah, Ryan Mallett. Yep, 2007. And then Lloyd Carr pieced out. Rich Rod came in. Mallett transferred to Arkansas, and it was all downhill from there.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, Shane Morris was at a 5-star at one point, I think.
Yeah.
But I also think that Shane Morris was a 5-star because of the exact same thing as Joe Milton. He just had his body and had a freaking cannon for an arm, and it was like, oh yeah, he should be able to put it all together. And then you have to realize there's so much more to the quarterback position than that.
Right.
But Giovanni El Hadi was, I think, the first commit in this class, right? So he's a 4-star tackle, which, let's build up that offensive line, right? And Raheem Henderson was the same thing. He's a center at 4-star from Cass Tech, so love it. The hometown boys really carried this class. We're looking at Sterling Heights, Detroit, Bloomfield. There's some legit hometown boys. Lansing for Audrell Anthony. On the offensive side, to keep it going, you have Lewis Hanson, 4-star tight end, which I'm excited about him. Christian Dixon, 4-star wide receiver from California. Let's see. You got Greg Crippen, a 4-star center as well. So I thought on the offensive line, this was a really good recruiting class.
Hell yeah.
I think that is incredibly important, especially right now. And then you rounded out Tristan Bounds. I think he's a 3-star tackle, but I think he's huge. He's 6'7" and a half, 285.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think you can work with that. He may not be developed at this point, but I trust Ed Warner to develop him and get him into good shape. And then, so that was pretty much it. We also have Willie Allen as a transfer too, as technically part of this class.
Right.
And he's a tackle too. So you have 4 linemen that are in this, and Willie Allen used to be a 3-star. He was from La Tech. So I don't know. Thoughts on the offensive side of the ball? Well, of course. And then you go to the last 2, which we weren't sure on. Xavier Worthy, 4-star wide receiver who was picking between Bama and Michigan on his final couple weeks, I guess, really. And then Donovan Edwards, who I was not expecting him to come to Michigan. So
I had no faith in either of them. Yeah.
Why? I mean, a little bit questions why, at this point. But Donovan Edwards, I heard him. Xavier Worthy was on FaceTime with Josh Gaddis during his commitment. I think Donovan Edwards was on FaceTime with Harbaugh. This was a hell of an offensive class, honestly.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, just to see that many playmakers too. We got a dominant wide receiver, dominant running back, and one of the top. I don't know what he ended up being, according to 247, the second best quarterback in the class. So I mean, just getting that much talent at those important positions, it's always exciting and encouraging to see, especially to add to the young wide receiver core we have coming back next year.
Yeah, I think it also kind of says something about Harbaugh and Josh Gaddis and their abilities to recruit as well, which then makes me, I don't want to get too far ahead here, but it does make me go that makes me go what's going to happen if, maybe Josh Gaddis isn't here next year or any of those things.
Yeah, what that means, I think what we can take away from signing day as far as the coaches is we had 2 or 3 defensive guys flip on the last day. What's his name to Maryland and the other dude to UCLA. What that means to me is that Don Brown and probably the entire coaching staff has gone on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe you're keeping Zordich, maybe you're keeping Brian Jean-Marie so that for the recruiting purposes in the South. But I think Don Brown has to be gone. He hasn't said a peep on Twitter, on anything else. So I imagine he's not either already not with the team or planning not to be with the team. And it sounds like he was not in on a lot of these Zoom calls or whatever else. But then I think that Josh Gaddis will be staying, because why else would he be on FaceTime with Xavier Worthy during his commitment if he's not planning to, or if they're not planning to keep him on?
Yeah, that's what I gathered from that. Seeing Harbaugh talk to all these recruits on FaceTime with a lot of them when they're signing. I mean, it's got to make you think that Harbaugh and Gaddis will both be back.
Yeah, I'm for sure on the Harbaugh one, but the Gaddis one still does have me kind of scratching my head a little bit.
I wonder if maybe his responsibilities are lessened a little bit. He's still on, but maybe he goes back to wide receivers, or we bring somebody else on as a co-offensive coordinator that is calling the plays, or maybe even Harbaugh is calling the plays. One of those 3 options I think are still very plausible. I think you have to, you can't just be like, all right, Josh Gaddis, here's the whole offense. It's yours at this point. He's obviously not that experienced in that, so you can't just give him full reign. So maybe we take a look, and Harbaugh takes a look and says, all right, let's bring in another offensive analyst or something like that, and maybe he's a co-head coordinator or something, but he's going to call the plays. What do you guys think about Ben McDaniels, quarterbacks coach? Two years ago, at the beginning of this year, I said, there's no way we can screw this quarterback room up. You got Dylan McCaffrey, you got Joe Milton, you got JJ coming in next year. Like, we're looking at it from the view of last spring. It was like, we're set for 5 years.
Oh,
right? Yeah. And it took 3 games for us to be like, we're so screwed.
Yeah, 100%. I think McDaniels has to be gone. I mean, there's not really a guy in his time at Michigan that you can point to be like, yeah, he developed him and, he ended up being really solid. I mean, maybe if Cade had a full season that we could look at, that could have saved McDaniels' job, but not saying that he's gone, but if he was gone, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I'm like, get him out of here. Like, he had his shot and it didn't work out. And, it happens. But I think I would like to see someone like Harbaugh, who is supposed to be a quarterback guy, step up and really, have a direct hand in developing these quarterbacks.
Yeah, I would love to see, I don't even know an example of this, but a QB coach or a QB, guru, which that's like been the word for Harbaugh, right? Oh, he's a QB whisperer, a QB guru, like, whatever. I don't care what you want to call him, like, whatever. I still think Harbaugh knows how to coach quarterbacks, right? But it's tough to be a true quarterbacks coach when you are the head coach at the University of Michigan, right? Like, there's a lot more to handle. So I would love to see another QB guy come in as an analyst or as maybe as a co-offensive coordinator, like you said, Kalen, and have him really be focused on this QB room. I really be focused on JJ McCarthy. At this point, like, dude, you're the guy. You got every tool that we can imagine. So let's make you into a Trevor Lawrence. Let's make you into a, Ian Book even. Like, dude, Ian Book at Notre Dame is legit. So, like, even if J.J. McCarthy is not a Trevor Lawrence, if he's an Ian Book, this offense is going to be very, very good.
Yeah, Ian Book to me seemed a lot like he just seemed like a better Shea Patterson. Like what we all kind of expected Shea to be, that's what Ian Book is for Notre Dame. Hey, and they're playing tomorrow in the ACC championship game against Clemson, man. I can't wait. For that.
That's going to be a fun game.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Ian Book had Jack about to go Notre Dame fan.
That's true.
I mean,
that's true.
Yeah. Hey, I'll be rooting for Notre Dame tomorrow. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I think that, like, the thing is that we don't need J.J. McCarthy to even be this Heisman guy. He has to be – Shea Patterson I thought was average, maybe a little above average. We just need him to be a little bit of a step above that, where he makes plays that a normal quarterback wouldn't make, or he extends the play. I mean, again, Justin Fields is a god on the field right now.
Yeah.
But, like, he extends plays so much and makes plays with his feet when they get in trouble. I think that's what we're looking for, and that's what we've seen from J.J. McCarthy in the at IMG too, right? So I'm excited, obviously, for JJ. I do truly think he's got a good shot at starting next year. I think Cade is legit. What do you guys think? Is Milton in the portal or what?
I'd think so, man. I'd say go somewhere, because if I'm there, just me outside looking in, I'd think it's McNamara's job to lose, and if he's going to lose it, he's going to lose it to McCarthy. I just think Milton had his shot. I mean, unless they come out and say, you know what, he had a friggin' broken hand the entire season. That's why I couldn't throw the ball. I mean, I just don't see him playing at Michigan again.
Yeah, I'm
not as QB1 at least.
Yeah, like I said before, I think Joe Milton should transfer somewhere that they have an established, history of developing very good quarterbacks. Yeah. And take your shot that way. I mean,
even just a place where he can go get his confidence back.
Yeah, even if he went and played at some Pac-12 school or something like that. Hey, Texas Tech. If Joe Milton went to Texas Tech, he would just be slinging it, and he could complete 50% of his passes and still have a great career. So,
yeah.
I was going to say make him a Zach Gentry and get him to the NFL as a tight end, but I think he's so soft, he would never, like, dude, he's not a blocking tight end. I don't think he can take a hit like that, which is crazy because he's 250 pounds. Huge. But whatever. How about the Donovan Edwards is a huge splash for this. This was like an unbelievable land, I thought, for Harbaugh in the last second after everything that's gone down. What do you think about the running back room going forward with how crowded it was this year and how poorly Michigan handled it? You add Donovan Edwards, who I would imagine is going to have the same or bigger impact than Blake Corum had this year.
I mean, maybe. I'd assume Charbonnet is probably going to transfer just because, I mean, Hassan seemed to be like the number one guy. Whether it was because Charbonnet was hurt or whatever, I have no idea.
Man. Like,
Charbonnet was a top, I think, he was a top 100 guy for sure in the 2019 class.
Dude, and I just look at him and his body and his ability, and like, I truly think that he's going to go somewhere.
He'll dominate wherever he goes.
We said this before. Like, if he went to Iowa, he would literally be 30 carries a game, 200 yards a game.
Yeah, Iowa, Wisconsin, Northwestern, any other Big Ten school, and he would be the number one guy and torch defenses. So I think it's fair to expect at least one transfer out of there. I'd assume Chris Evans isn't coming back, but this year was like a red shirt for everybody year, right? So
I would imagine, though. So Wisconsin already came out and said, they were like, yeah, we know the NCAA said that, but we don't have a roster spot for our seniors.
Right.
So like, yes, you have another year of eligibility. We're more than happy to have you play that somewhere else, but we aren't going to have a roster spot for you here, unfortunately. So I would bet that most places are going to say that. Michigan might
grad
not say
transfers
that.
or something.
Yeah, like, I think he'd be a great grad transfer somewhere as well. But I think, like, I see Charbonnet. Yeah, I don't know. I think Michigan will probably say, they may not come out and say, oh, we're not taking any of these guys back for another year, but they may pick and choose, kind of like, sorry, Chris, it's time to.
You just don't have a spot. Yeah.
Sorry. Our running back, he would probably understand it, dude. It's like,
oh, yeah.
Our running backs room is already crowded as hell. You aren't going to get a shot probably for much playing time. I don't know.
I mean, think about how many guys are in this running back room. I mean, what? Hassan Haskins, Zach Charbonnet, I'm Christian Turner. As far as I know, he's still around.
Still around. He didn't play much last year, if at all.
Didn't play. But then, I mean, Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards. I think we have another guy, Tavier Dunlap, I think his name is.
Out of that class, yeah.
There's like too many guys. And I look at this room and I go, like, I've heard decent things about Jay Harbaugh, but I think we need somebody who has played this position to coach this position.
We need a real running backs coach.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to say that.
I can't complain about Jay Harbaugh right now as far as how the running backs are playing.
That's true. Like, it's not like they're the problem. It's right. Our rotation with them.
The problem is there's too many good ones.
Even when we had a good line, the running backs weren't a standout, and we had some pretty good running backs. So I'm just like, I felt
like Karan Higdon was a stud. I felt like in 2019 between Charbonnet and Haskins, they had 700 yards apiece. So each of them basically played half the season. So combine that, you're at 1,400 yard back. That's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
In a year that you go 9-4 or whatever, 9, 8 and 5. I don't know.
I think they could be even better with somebody who has experience playing the position, somebody who specializes. You know, I'm just throwing some of that out there.
I won't disagree with you there.
I would love Mike Hart to come on. I would love Nick Sheridan to come on as a co-offensive coordinator. Yeah, dude, anything to get this offense like over the hump. I feel like we moved in the right direction a little bit, but like we have to tighten some things up. We don't have to go full spread. We can go the Alabama route a little bit and still run the ball out of an I formation or a single back, like off tackle. Or either that, or you do have to go full spread with J.J. McCarthy and have him doing the read option, and actually running those out, because I think that's legit. But, man, I I feel like they must have been like, Donovan Edwards, you've got a chance to play next year. No matter, like, how else are they going to get him here? Honestly.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, especially when you see such a crowded running back room, and I think he could make an instant impact. I think so. Actually, that brings up a question. Who do you guys think? I mean, it's kind of three kind of obvious answers to me, but who do you guys think will be the first freshman to step on the field?
JJ. Wait, let me pull it back up. Hold on.
Yeah.
You know, the crazy thing this is a good thing to bring up. Josh Gaddis tweeted it, I think, 2 or 3 days ago.
Right.
Michigan had 8 freshmen play in 2020.
Yeah.
On the offensive side of the ball.
He's not afraid to
8
get him out
freshmen,
there. That's for
dude.
sure.
So, like, which I think, I hope 2020 was a little bit of a unique situation because they knew that they didn't have any red shirts to burn or anything. Like, they could do whatever with eligibility, and they knew it was a weird year, so they wanted to get everybody experience, especially once we lost a few games.
I wish they would have done that on defense.
No shit. Like Andre Seldon, maybe.
Dude, Andre Seldon, fucking. I was looking at the 2020 and the 2019 class, and there is another DB that was like 4 stars. It wasn't Miles Sims, because I know Miles Sims transferred because he was a 4-star DB that we got.
Dude, how clutch would it have been to have him on the roster right now?
Dude, that would
necessary.
Help so much. Quentin Johnson, who's a safety, 4-star safety, when he came in 2019, was like a solid guy. Jalen Perry was a 4-star fucking DB, dude.
It's like, where are these guys? And so, like, I don't know. Maybe is Mike Zordich the guy? I don't know. It's so hard to tell for me with Don Brown, just any of these guys. Did they inherit some studs and get kind of lucky with their recruiting classes that they just had stud guys, but they like can't develop the not so great guys or something like that? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Maybe I think also there's a good chance that on the offensive line we may see some freshmen.
Well, dude, even I was looking at that too for like last year and 2 years ago. We've got some good linemen waiting in the wings, man. Jeffrey Percy was a 4-star guy that we recruited, I believe, last year. Oh, and another one last year, Darian Green Warren, 4-star DB. Why did he not get any playing time with Andre Seldon? Zach Zinter, he got in last year though, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeffrey. I mean, he was like
Jeffrey
third
Percy,
string,
6'7", 265 guy, so he's a little bit lighter, probably trying to put on some weight, but he was a 4-star lineman. I mean, we've got some guys that I'm excited to see how they've developed, so we can see them on the line next year. But Giovanni El Hadi, he might be a guy that makes an impact right away, and then same with either Crippen or Raheem Anderson.
Yeah, generally doesn't it take like 2 years to like put the weight and muscle on to get the lineman going? Is that right?
So.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Giovanni Hald's coming in
big.
at 2. He's big already, but like 285 is still not big enough in the Big Ten, honestly.
Right, but I think once he gets into a college program with like, nutrition and everything, he should be
15
able to get
pounds
up to
at
300 easy, yeah.
Yeah. Greg Crippen's 285 as well, but he's only 6'4", but if he's a center.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tristan Bounds though, 6'7", 285, dude. Like if we can get him to move, that dude's gonna be a beast.
Yeah.
I think this for Michigan right now, you've got some stud 4 and 5 stars, right? It's about developing these 3 and 4 stars that are kind of on the cusp into serviceable or good players. And I feel like we've done that with some guys. We've done that with Ronnie Bell. We've done that with Hassan Haskins, even in a position change. But there have been some guys that I feel like we've missed on. We've whiffed on kind of with development.
100%. Yeah.
So let's move to the defensive side of the ball too, right? This is not a good defensive class. And
no.
The thing is, like, everyone's gonna rag on that, like, oh, and part of it is because the defensive classes prior to this were also not great. So I think that it's just like adding on.
Yeah.
But if what we're saying is right, and Michigan is losing Don Brown, not losing, but moving on from Don Brown and a lot of that defensive staff, you have to think that you're going to lose some of these recruits. So there's no way around that. So I think that, yes, this class stinks on the defensive side, honestly. I mean, I don't want to hate on some of these guys, but it's not good.
And it's not even, to me, it's not even that they're not talented. It's just we've only got like 3 or 4 guys so far.
It's just depth.
I mean, Junior Colson I'm excited about. That's for sure.
Jaden Hood was a big, like, late night Wednesday pickup because I did not think we were going to get him either.
And I totally forgot about Keyshawn Bennett.
Yeah, Keyshawn Bennett was a big one as well. But, I mean, the elephant in the room right now is defensive tackles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Matt Dudek, director of recruiting, say on Twitter, like, hey, this is one of 2, recruiting days, and there's more to come. So everybody who's, talking shit about us lacking on defense, stay tuned. I don't know if that's just, him talking out his neck or what, but I guess we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to his point, there is still time, but it's still, gonna alarm you if you're not able to go out and get guys ready to commit on the first possible day.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of things will change if they fire Don Brown and then bring on somebody new. If they bring on Will Muschamp or even Derek Mason, it's like, okay, the transfer portal is going to be huge for us because he's going to go in hard, aggressive on that. And then also, I think like a guy like Rayshawn Benny, who committed to Michigan State but didn't sign the other day. In Michigan now, I don't know if you guys saw this, but there were like 10 Michigan recruits or players that tweeted at him.
Trying to go after him, yeah.
Yeah, so like they're not giving that up, especially with how Michigan State is looking right now as far as guys transferring and things like that. So I think it'll all on the defensive side of the ball, like I'm a little worried right now. There's no doubt about that, but I think it'll look a lot better come the spring after we get a new D coordinator in and hit the transfer portal and things like that. Because, guys, I don't know if you saw, but it was like the night of Wednesday signing day, there were like 300 guys in the transfer portal already. So the fact that they passed that like no eligibility thing for that you don't have to sit out 1 year anymore for the transfer portal. It's like everyone's doing it. Everyone's getting in the transfer portal. I'm surprised we haven't seen any Michigan get in the transfer portal, but I think Michigan's going to try to hit that hard on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and I think that, and to your point earlier, the guys are they're just going to push out to be like, hey, we just don't have a spot for you anymore. I think that's both of those things are just contributing to the transfer portal like crazy, and we'll see a lot of guys. Hopefully Michigan can grab some from there.
Yeah, I want to see at least 2 defensive tackles picked up in the transfer portal.
For sure.
Minimum.
You know what kind of confuses me is like I understand if you miss on a 5-star or a 4-star D tackle, but why did we not say, all right, let's at least get some 3-star guys that we still like? Why did we just pick up 0?
Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's the roster thing. Maybe that's why it's like, if we're not going to get top guys, we're just not going to go after them right now.
Okay, so what are we going to do?
I don't know.
Maybe. We're going to put at that position. We're just going to get run over.
Maybe Carlo Kemp's going to have another year.
We have to put Carlo Kemp in at D tackle.
For his 8th year, yeah.
Yeah, like that's where I'm confused. Like we've got 3 stars, at every other position. Why do we not have at least 3-star D tackles?
Hey, I'll start eating that Little Debbie's, and I still got some eligibility. So
we got to bulk up here.
Those Hershey pies from Burger King will get where you want to be.
Yeah, and you know what hurts me so much to say is that Michigan has had 0 defensive tackle commits since Greg Madison left, and I hate that man with a passion. But he is a great coach, and I know that, and that's why Ohio State's D-line is dominating and everything. But, well, the whole defense, they're all right. But definitely on the front 7. And it's like, I don't know, Sean Nua, see ya, dude. Sorry, you seem like a great guy, but see ya. So I would, if I'm looking at a D coordinator, I'm saying, hey, here's your first priority. Bring in a great defensive line coach, bring in a great linebackers coach, and let's fix this right now. Hit the transfer portal, develop some of the guys that we have, and let's go.
Yeah, I mean, that's what needs to happen. I don't think next year the defense is going to be any good. You really got to lean on the offense to score points like we talked about for this past year. But hopefully year 2, whoever's back there will be able to get it straightened out.
So I was looking online for who would maybe replace Don Brown, right? And I was looking at like who's a highly ranked team in terms of like yards per game defensively.
Give it up. Yeah.
And the number 4 this past year in team yards per game was San Diego State, and I was like, that's kind of weird.
I know who it is.
And then I was like, holy shit, number 4 last year was San Diego State too, right? And you guys are right. I was like, holy shit, Brady Hoke was the coach.
Are we gonna? He's a D guy.
Are we gonna reach back for Brady Hoke? We're probably not gonna reach back for him. But
dude, I don't think it would be a bad play though. Like, yes, you have to like suck it up and be like, all right, dude, we're so sorry about firing you, but like,
dude, remember his recruiting?
He was a fantastic D coordinator and D line coach. He just couldn't get the head coach thing under control. But he's Will Heininger, who played for him, DN, and my cousin who played for him, absolutely love him, dude. He's like the biggest players coach ever, which that's what we're missing right now is coaches who have great relationships with their players. So like, dude, I'm all for that, honestly.
Bring Brady back.
Hey, we might have a hashtag there, so.
I love
Bring
it.
Brady back. Oh, we got to start that on Twitter, I think.
I'll send out a tweet right now.
There you go. Yeah, dude, that's a good call, actually. I would love Brady back. I think he's the Michigan man. I know we kind of are annoyed with that, but it helps for sure because he knows what's going on there. I mean, also, how many times would he be like, I know how I fucked up the last time. I'm not going to do that this time, right?
We just got to tell him to wear a headset. That's it.
And I was going to say, as long as he's not focusing on the entire team and it's just the defense, I'm cool.
Yeah, exactly. But like on another talk, I would love our boy Cox by 90, Will Muschamp. He says Will Muschamp would be a fantastic D coordinator. I think Will Muschamp is similar to Brady Hoke. Like, dude is a stud on the defensive side of the ball. Like, got it going on, but he just doesn't have the CEO thing down to be a head coach. Didn't have it at Florida. Didn't have it at South Carolina. So I don't know. We gotta work on that stuff. So yeah. What else do we got to talk about? I mean, that was pretty much it. Do we want to? So, I mean, your boys, your Sparties over there, your Sparty friends are not going to be happy with this, but dude, they're having a rough day.
With transfers or what?
With the transfer portal, man. They had, like you said, their top 3 recruits from 2018 or 19, I can't remember which year. All hit the transfer portal, I think this week or the last couple weeks.
Who's their top 3 recruits?
A couple of guys out of Belleville.
Dobbs, Julian Barnett, and then
Josh Dobbs.
Not Josh.
And the CQB, Devontae Dobbs.
Devontae Dobbs.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that we can pick up?
Dude.
Both those guys, I think.
Yeah, they're
awesome.
good. Barnett is a corner, I believe, right?
And I think the other guys.
Dobbs, I think, is a D line.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Dude, that'd be sweet, but
Dobbs is
Belleville kids.
Dobbs is from Belleville, right? Yeah.
Yeah, both
of them are. We were going after them hard, and that Belleville coach hates Michigan for God knows what reason. But yeah, that was a big reason for it. I can't remember the third guy, but then Rocky Lombardi in the transfer portal.
I like that QB they started playing the end of the season. So I think it was a good move for Rocky to just like be like, I'm out. I have no shot.
Oh, for sure. Once you lose your spot there, it's kind of over, you know.
Right.
Rarely does a QB that loses their spot ever get anything back, you know.
Right.
But you know what? This will make your Sparty friends happy because like I cannot believe Michigan lost that game to Rocky Lombardi. His whole freaking career is beat Michigan, get benched the next week, and then transfer a few weeks later. It's his whole
got something to hang his hat on.
I will never understand how Michigan lost that game. And it's so frustrating because if Michigan at least beats Michigan State this year, then it's like, whatever, it's a fake year, like whatever. It would have been fine because then you lose to Indiana, who's a good football team. You lose to Wisconsin, who was a good football team at the time. Yeah. And then I mean the Penn State game was terrible, but like I don't know, that game makes everything different if Michigan wins the game, and now instead of that being like an absolute atrocity.
Yeah, and also just from our side, the fan side of it, you're not hearing it from your Sparty friends either. So it gives you a different perspective on everything else. I mean, just on top of having another game in the win column.
Exactly. It was brutal. I mean, was there anybody on our roster, on Michigan's roster right now, that you could see outside of Charbonnet that you could see hitting the transfer portal? Charbonnet and Milton, I guess.
Dude, for whatever reason, and people are probably going to hate me for it, I don't know, man. Giles Jackson, I've just got a weird feeling. I've just got a weird feeling about Giles Jackson.
Somebody tweeted something at him, and he said, like, nah, like, no way.
Well,
now, could be all talk, but.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want on Twitter, right? But I think part of that was that he came out and was like, me and Xavier Worthy are a package deal. So everyone's like, oh, Giles Jackson's transferring to Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, that could be it. That could be the whole thing where it's got in my head. But it just, for whatever reason, I've just got a feeling where I don't know. I don't know.
So that was it pretty much. But now, then I think like that was his response to the tweet was like, no.
Yeah.
I'm feeling more like Dax Hill might be getting a little shaky.
I could see that with a new D coordinator. He's actually came out in the past couple weeks, I think, like backing Don Brown up.
Really?
So maybe if Don Brown goes, Dax Hill goes, that would be a huge hit to the defense.
I mean, I don't want that. Something for him where he's like, thank fucking God if we get a new coordinator. And now I'm just not sitting out here fucking running all over the field, you know?
That's so true too.
I can see it both ways, yeah.
I could see it either way. I hope Dax Hill wouldn't fucking transfer, man.
Oh God, I hope not.
I think it's, especially for me, I think it's really hard to believe guys that are getting significant playing time would transfer. I mean, I know I just said Giles Jackson, but
you're such an idiot.
I am. This is factual. But I don't know. Maybe. Hope not.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see. I mean, maybe there's a chance that Dax Hill was sitting back there, at safety, and he's like, dude, I can barely take this right now. Like, I don't know if I can take any more of this. Because how many times was Dax Hill just making every play?
Every single play.
Whether it was a run play, he's like literally all over the field. Maybe that's also an advantage to him because he can be hey, stat builder, NFL film. He's like, dude, I covered literally the entire film because the rest of my defense sucks so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I think we'll find out over the next couple weeks about the Michigan and the transfer portal. So, yeah, it sounds like Harbaugh and Ward have been talking. They talked. So the word we heard was that they had a long conversation yesterday in the athletic department. And so we'll see what that means. Like, it kind of scares me, like, if they're having long conversations at this point, that means they didn't talk much before, or at least they just didn't have anything figured out. Because I kind of thought from all the reports before, it was like everything's kind of a done deal. We just have to, like, dot the I's and cross the T's type of a thing. But now it's like there's still negotiations or things to figure out. So, like, now what?
Makes me think that they weren't just blowing smoke. They were like, we're not going to talk until the end of the season, which would, kind of line up with that. But, I mean, they could be talking about, other guys, too. It could be like, hey, who do you want at D coordinator? Do you want to keep Don around? Do you want to make this move, make that move?
That's true.
If they're talking about Harbaugh and they're talking about extending him, they're probably talking about all the other coaches and who he wants to keep around. That would be my assumption for that.
That sounds like a good guess. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Now, it would shock me now if Harbaugh's not back, right? Like,
right.
After signing day, that would be so shitty to these kids that signed. If you're like, all right, actually, you signed with us, now we are.
That would be worse than D'Antonio. That would be like,
it would.
Jeez.
I mean, it would literally be fucking Mel Tucker. What it would be.
It would literally be Mel Tucker. That's actually true. Yeah, you're right about that. So, all right. Well, that's all I got over here. I think we'll talk more. The sad thing is that we don't have Michigan basketball for the next 2 weeks still until 1 week.
1 week.
God, everything's going so fast. December just flew by. Like, we're basically the week of Christmas now, which is kind of crazy. But
a few more days and I'll be in Florida, boys. I cannot wait.
Oh, I'm so jealous of you.
Oh,
so
man.
Jealous. All right, well, we'll hang. We'll hold the fort down here up in Michigan. I'm going skiing tomorrow, actually, hitting the slopes.
Are you
up north?
I've still never skied. I got to go on a ski trip though. I feel like that'd be a fun time.
Well, you are required to be athletic to go skiing, so maybe
maybe I can get a waiver. Maybe I can get a waiver or something.
Maybe like we could put you in a bubble, like bubble wrap.
That'd be fun.
You can hit the transfer portal and yeah.
Oh, Jack would for sure be the guy that hits like slams into a tree. It's like full force.
Sure.
Wham!
Sure. I mean, I just stay up at the bar the whole time. That's fine with me. You guys can go.
It's like riding a motorcycle, right? You shift your weight, and then
Exactly. Or Jack would actually be the guy that's like holding up the entire chairlift because he's like, hold on.
I'm not ready.
This is way too high. This is too high.
Yeah.
Stop it. That would be you for sure. All right. Well, you can follow us at Blue by 90 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, at Blue by 90 podcast on YouTube. We'll be back probably next week at some point to talk Michigan versus Nebraska. Christmas Day basketball, boys. I'm pretty excited. Sucks for the players, good for us because I love watching anything on Christmas Day. And I'm not doing big family things on Christmas. I don't know about you guys, but it'll give us something to do. So, all right. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.